Tell you what, Jane.
Yes, Richard.
I'll tell you what, Jane. We just did that climb out of the valley basin there, round all those wiggly bends.
Yeah.
And this bike handles beautifully, doesn't it?
Yes, you certainly tested it out.
It's on rails.
Yeah.
And the thing I love about it, not only is the ergonomics really nice, but it goes from side to side so easily. For saying it's fully loaded,
yeah,
and quite heavy, once you move in, hairpins and tight bends, it's just rolls on and rolls off.
Yeah, you were testing it to the max there, Rich.
And in third gear, just beautiful going uphill. It's just like, oh mate, I like this bike a lot. We've just hired this 750GS in Rome, and we've had a little trip through the Apennines, which is behind us, all the way down to Pompeii. We've ridden the Amalfi coast, and we're just on our way back to Rome now. So I thought it was a good time to have a little resume of what we think of the BMW 750GS. So let's start with the engine. 750cc's, I don't know, it must be 90 horsepower. You really do not need any more. There's two of us, full luggage, as you can see. There's a lot of, we've got all our gear in here, and it pulls like a train. You literally don't need more than 750. Why? Styling, what do we think about the styling, Jane?
I think it's a very good looking bike.
It's a good looking bike.
A lot of people have been looking at this bike as it goes past.
If it had an electric motor, nobody'd look up.
No.
But they hear this thing coming. It's actually, talking about the engine, it's got a nice, this has got the standard exhaust pipe on it, which is a bit of a dustbin. But even with that, it makes it quite a satisfying two-cylinder rasp.
It does, yeah.
Ergonomics. Now, I would say that this bike is almost perfect for me as a rider. We'll come on to the pillion in a sec. But the bars are a really nice width, bit of a lean back. You've got a slight lean forward, but you're very, very comfortable. I've hardly felt fatigue in my shoulders, in my back, not much at all. Really superb riding position. Leg position is nice and open, so you haven't got the tight bend. Your feet are slightly tucked under, only very slightly, but not in any way uncomfortable. The seat for a stock bike these days is actually pretty good. A lot of stock seats are terrible, and everybody changes them for sergeants and all the rest, Corbins and all the rest of it. This is pretty good. We've done full days on this, and I got to say, a tiny amount of numb bum, but not much. How did you find the seat, Jane?
I found that seat really good. You know, you're not sliding around on it. It's got that lovely grippy sort of material.
It is.
And I've only got sort of a numb bum if we've been on there, you know, quite a long time. Yeah, I found the backrest really, really comfortable. Because we had a bike before and it didn't have a backrest, and I found that these bits were digging in my back the whole time.
Right, this bike is loaded with modern electronics, unlike most of my own personal bikes. So this has got electronic suspension, which is controlled by that little gizmo there. And we had it set to 2 people with luggage. And I've got to say, the suspension on this bike is absolutely fantastic. If there's one thing I'd rave about, it really is the ride and suspension. Superb. Yeah. That brings me on to the handling. Now, even loaded up, and it's quite a heavy bike anyway, fully loaded, it's obviously a bit heavier, but this thing flicks from side to side through twisty bends like you wouldn't believe. It's so poised and stable, but flickable. It's an absolute joy. And the thing is, over distance, it means that it's a really easy bike to ride. You don't get tired, you don't get fatigued, easy thing just to cover the miles on. Right, the luggage on this bike is actually really clever. It's the Vario system, and I think most BMWs have it. The clever thing is you can actually reduce the size of the boxes with just a lever inside. So when we're on the bike and we're going from A to B, we've got our bags in here, our rucksacks, and they fill them up. But then when we're kind of local, I can't be bothered to take the pannies off. And I like them on because it actually gives my pillion a bit more of a sort of a safety from the side. But this is how you reduce them in size. If you zoom in, Jane. So you just lift up the lever, press that one down, there's your rucksack. So you've left that in your B&B, and then to make it smaller, you just lift up that lever and the whole pannier slides in on itself. And there it is. So the pannier now, if you look at the back, this pannier is about half the width of that one, or certainly 2/3. So when you're going into town, you can still carry waterproofs, maybe a few bits and pieces, an extra jumper or whatever. But the bike isn't as wide. And then when you're back on the road the following day and you're heading off again for your next 200 or 300 miles, you're back with your full-size boxes. Really cool. Thumbs up BMW for that one. Another thing that I'm amazed how good it is this tiny little screen. So it brings the air right up over here, spoils a bit here, but it's mostly above your helmet. So you get a nice envelope here where you can cruise at 80 and it's not hitting your chest. You can hold 80 miles an hour on this, no trouble at all, with a tiny little screen. Where to park your bike? Yeah. Something else I've grown to really like about this bike is the TFT dash or screen. I'm not really used to them, but I do like the digital readout. I do like the gear indicator that actually comes in very handy. I do like the rev counter going across there. You'll be amazed on this bike. It's so powerful and torquey that you hardly ever need more than 4,500 revs, and you've got 8,500. So this thing really shifts. Right, the brakes are amazing. Now, we're in Italy, and the Italian drivers, I think we can say, are erratic. Most of the time we've been okay, but I had one point where I was coming off a motorway and it was a slip road. Some guy decides to jam on the anchors rock hard, and I had no choice but to completely nail this. I felt the electronics doing its job. Everything was juddering and making all sorts of noises, but it stopped us just before we piled into the back of a BMW. So this thing, I reckon, saved us.